What is happening, everybody? Welcome to today's video. So we actually just got back. Took the Corvette to Niagara Falls. It was cool. It actually rode really good. It was super comfortable considering it's Corvette. But anyways, so now we're gonna get back on the Speedster top, and hopefully in this video we're gonna see it finished, bodywork and primed and all that stuff. You can see I just started doing a little bit to the back here, and basically just final fitting around the edges and stuff. But yeah, it's pretty much ready for bodywork and then primer. That's the goal for today. Hopefully we're gonna be able to see this black, just like all of this, and on here by the end of the video. And that's gonna be super cool. And then that means that I can move on to basically finishing the rest of the car, which there's still quite a bit of work to do, but also at the same time, not a lot of work. It's confusing. But anyways, that is the plan. So probably just gonna move the Corvette out. Actually, I might wash it because it's pretty filthy. So I have to pull that out, wash that, and then I can back this thing up, and then we can fully get into body working this. Anyways, we're just gonna get into that, move some stuff around, and then get going. It's like the next day, it's pouring now. I just washed the car yesterday, so I don't want to put that outside. So I'm just gonna do it right here, which kind of sucks, but whatever. So I'm just gonna start mixing some up. I think I'll do this side first. And what I'm gonna do, just cover this molding and tape again, and then skim coat over this whole area. Straighten up this edge here, and basically straighten up this whole kind of roll, make it all the same. Then do that to the other side. Then move our way to the middle, and then basically do these. I can do these when they're off the car, same with the front, but I would like to do this part, the other side, and then the middle kind of when it's sitting on here, so that way I know it's not going to move or anything. And yeah, I'm just gonna mix some filler and start going. And I'm not sure, I think it was in the last video, but I mentioned like obviously this isn't the best way to do this. Like the best way would be to basically do what I'm doing, do all the filler work, whatever, and then take a mold of that. Like use this piece as a mold and then make another piece, and it would be like perfect. Just have to trim it out and it'll be fine. But that's a lot of extra material, a lot of extra time and work, and I don't really feel like doing that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna skim coat this whole thing, which I don't know, sounds bad, but it's not terrible. Plus it's not like it's the car, right? So it's just this fiberglass piece I made. So if anything ever happens, it's just that, and I can just fix it later on or whatever. So it's not an ideal situation, but it'll be fine for what I'm doing and what I'm using it for. Because I added this fiberglass on top, so now it's extremely bumpy. But yeah, it's all ground. It's gonna be good. I'm not really worried about this at all. So yeah, I'm pumped. I'm ready to get this thing done. Get some primer on it, and then I can move on to the rest of the car, and that's gonna be cool. So as you can see, this side is now sanded. It's pretty good. It's not terrible. The other side is also done. So now what I'm gonna do, I was gonna do the center with it on the car, but I can't reach it and I don't want to stand in it and mess the carpet all up. So I'm gonna take it off, put it on the horses, then do the center, do the humps, get hopefully the majority of the bodywork done tonight. It's just another night now. But yeah, I'm just gonna pull it off, put it over there, and get to work. Okay, so as you can see, I've got like a whole coat. Actually, there's a couple spots I had to put more than one coat. I really regret adding that fiberglass on the outside. It made it so awful to work with. But like you can see, like that's through to the fiberglass. Like here is through to the fiberglass. There's a couple spots up here and like there. So, I mean, it's not overly thick, but this stuff is the fiberglass reinforced filler. It's really heavy. So now this thing has got quite a bit of weight to it. But I mean, it's not the end of the world. For what it is, it's probably gonna stay either on or off the car the majority of its life. So if it's on the car, I'm not gonna be moving it around. And the only thing I'm really worried about is when I go to like put it on or take it off, because I'm gonna grab it, right? And I don't want it to like bend and then crack, and that would not be good. But I'm not gonna be doing it that much. Like I said, it'll probably just stay on the car because I keep it in the garage anyways, and I'm not gonna drive it in the rain. So I'll just leave it on the car when it's in here. But yeah, I'm just trying now basically to get this back shape the same. And because this is messed up, I never really noticed, it's super low here. Like this black piece to the trunk is really low here, and it like crowns in the center. See, it's above there, and then it disappears. So that's kind of what my piece was doing, but it looked kind of goofy. So what I had to do is basically just build up from about like here to the corner on both sides. So now it'll be nice and level across the back, and I'll probably end up not having a sharp edge on it. I'll probably kind of round it off. But yeah, I mean, it's coming okay, I guess. Just a lot more work than I originally anticipated. Really now, I gotta do a little bit more filling here. This is a pretty low spot here. Then I'll move to these, get these straightened out. I'm already getting like the curve, kind of like the radius in there pretty good. Next, I'll go to those. And then I would like to probably give this just one thin skim complete of like the gold body filler. And that's gonna fill in like all of this stuff and all the big pinholes that this stuff leaves because it's super coarse. And then basically just make it all one level type thing. Then I just gotta finish up my edges and do up here, which shouldn't be too bad, I guess. They're pretty small, so a little bit more progress. This is how we got this fitting, which is like pretty good. Basically like just kind of sticking out past the molding. Got this side like fitting pretty much the exact same. Not 100%, but a lot better than it was. So basically what I'm gonna do now, I got this, brought my air file from work. Hopefully my compressor will run this. This thing takes a lot of air, just because it runs like wide open the whole time because I have it taped. But that's gonna help me kind of get that nice and flat. It's super hard to do with this stuff, just with a hand block because it's so like rock hard. So that'll help a lot. Plus is got 40 on there and I only have 80. So this will help for sure. I'm gonna try and leave it on the car and then use this just to block that and get it level. And then I can start doing these, getting these all smoothed out, straightened out, and then just do these front little sections. Then I'll get my focus back on this edge here because the level is pretty good now, like this way, but the gap needs a little bit of work. And then I think I'm gonna round this edge off. I'm just gonna round it. It won't take very long, but right now I got a square edge on there. It's just easier to visualize like the gap and basically how like straight the edges and stuff. So whenever I do stuff like this, I always make a nice sharp like body line or edge, and then I'll just knock it down later to whatever I want or whatever it should be. So that's what I'm gonna do with that. Won't take long. I really would like to get this top area flat section done tonight, which would be really good. This thing is, I know it's dragging on forever. I didn't plan for this to be this big of a deal, but I mean, it is a lot of work. So whatever, I think it'll be worth it. And I'm pretty happy with how it's coming out so far. I'm just so pumped to see it primed. Hopefully in this video, fingers crossed, I will get this speedstertop primed and we can lay it on the car and see exactly what it's gonna look like, and that should be really cool. Yeah, so hopefully the compressor will run this for long enough to do this little area. Shouldn't take too long. Okay, so you can see my low spot is getting smaller every time, so that's good. Like I said, this is not ideal. Obviously, I wish I wouldn't have to put this much filler in it, but for what it is, all it is just to look cool and different anyways, because I like that style, so it's gonna do what it's intended to. But if I were to do it again, I would definitely do a bunch of things different. One thing I would have did different was probably, like, I made the base out of just like one layer of that pink foam. I probably would have did it with 2, but shaved it down so it's like really thin here and then like almost a full one in the center. That way it has a bow to it instead of just perfectly flat. I don't know why I didn't think of that, because obviously like flat surfaces, they aren't very strong. You need to have like some sort of a crown to it. So that would have definitely prevented that whole inner part from falling in. And then also I could have put like ribs underneath or whatever, but I was really worried about it not fitting correctly. So at least this way it fits, it's just that part sunk in. I should have weighed it when it was just the fiberglass shell, because I would like to know how much heavier it is now. I haven't really lifted it since I've done much work to it, but it was probably, I don't know, a little bit heavier. I mean, not terrible, but I'm still not done. So not really the way I wanted to do it, but whatever. Keep going. I'm gonna start using like the gold just body filler now, because this is all pretty minor. Everything feels really good. There's still gonna be like a little bit of a dip to this instead of just straight, but if I wouldn't tell you, you probably wouldn't even notice. So whatever. It's just a fiberglass piece. It's gonna do a bunch of moving and stuff too when the sun and the heat hits it. It's gonna warp and stuff because it's fiberglass, so it'll never be perfect, but gonna get as close as I can right now, and then whatever happens, happens. So just keep going. I got it pretty much like where it needs to be. Now I'm just gonna take it off. It's much easier to reach, and I'm just gonna basically skim coat the whole thing one more time just to smooth it out a little bit more, just because when you have like all these different layers showing, it's really hard to get it to feel like nice and smooth. So I really like to just do one coat over the whole thing so it's all like on one level. So just one thin skim coat and this should be done, and then I can work on these. Then we'll work on mounting it. I figured as long as it fits, I can get it, you know, fitting and nice, then I can just have it sitting where I want it and then just figure out how to mount it from there. I don't know, that could be a bad idea, but I don't see why not. Yeah, so I'm just gonna get it off, put it on the horses again, and keep going. So I just took it off and threw it over here. Basically just like a little disclaimer. This is not gonna be perfect. It's a fiberglass part. I mean, it's custom. I could have spent like a lot longer and made it perfect, especially knowing what I know now. But I didn't do that, and I'm not starting over. It's gonna be good for what I want it for. It's gonna look like I want it, and it's gonna be, you know, good enough. But by no means is this gonna be perfectly flat and perfectly straight like the rest of the car is gonna be, because it's metal. It's a lot easier to block it and make it nice and straight, whereas fiberglass parts, they move with different temperatures and heat and all that. It's gonna move around, and even like how I have it fitting on the sides probably will change like in the summertime when it's sitting out in the sun. So I'm gonna make it as good to my ability as I can right now, and from there basically it's just is what it is. I'm just gonna do what I said I was gonna do. I'm just gonna do a little skim coat. I might just do the center part first and then do the sides separately. That way I'll just have a little edge here I can work from, because that's a lot to skim all the way around here and do in there. It's a lot of messing around, and you want to make it nice and smooth as you can. That way there's no big edges, and that's kind of difficult, but we'll see. Okay, so another day, a little more progress. I didn't really film it. It's all the same. I skimmed these, so this is like actually pretty good now. It's really hard to see, but I just left, I didn't make like a hard line around here. I think I like it better where it's just kind of like rolled into it like that. And then I rounded the edge off real nice. So I keep saying this, but this thing is like really close to being able to prime. Basically all I have to do is, I got this one little low spot here, and then a bunch of like pinholes. And I'll put it back on the car, then finalize this back edge, basically gap gap it to the trunk. And then make sure that these edges fit the moldings good. And then be able to shoot some primer on this thing. This is taking way longer than I thought. Honestly, at this point, I'm just kind of like rushing through it. It's not gonna be perfect. It'll be, I don't know, acceptable, I think. Well, unfortunately, I think I am gonna end the video there. It's literally Thursday night and I'm gonna edit this and do this for tomorrow. So this thing is pretty much done, which I keep saying, I know, but all I have to do is fill the pinholes and then fit that back edge to the car again. Everything up here is done. Nice and smooth, shaped and everything. So I guess we made pretty good progress, but it doesn't seem like it because it's just the same thing over and over again. So in the next video, this will for sure be primed. I'm probably gonna prime it this weekend sometime. Then we'll get it back on the car and figure out how to mount it, which shouldn't take too long, I'm hoping. But like I said, I really don't know how I'm gonna mount it. Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this video a little bit. I know it's kind of boring looking at the same thing over and over again, but after this, we're gonna get into some like really cool stuff, so which is like painting the car and seeing the color and all that eventually. And it should go pretty quick from here on because this was the last big bit of body work, and now it's just basically sanding and taping and then laying some color down, which is gonna be sick. Yeah, but if you like, I don't know, what you're seeing, if you want to subscribe, like, comment, whatever, much appreciated, and I will see you in the next one.